and I lost track of where I was on the sheet music because it was just going on, and I wasn't playing anything. Then all of a sudden, there's quiet.
Hello and welcome to the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
And my name's Gareth.
How's it going, dude?
Fine. I think you didn't finish the whole intro.
Oh,
This is the last time that you lead the intro because you screwed it up.
sorry.
Let's try it again from the top. No, really. As in,
Okay, cool. Let's do that as take two.
yeah, don't
Hello.
don't say us because I didn't do it. You go down with your own ship. Holy shit. Okay. Right, let's try this again, Bruce.
Oh, we're off to a sterling start. Hello and welcome to the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
And my name is Gareth.
We talk about things.
Thank you. We just
Don't know where they're gonna go.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
There we go. You swig your energy drink. Cool, man. How's things going?
Excuse me.
This week's been an interesting one.
For my brother, yes.
Yes. How is your brother?
Not for me. Although my car broke down and I lost a whole day of work, but
Jeez, that sucks.
that's not as important as my brother right now. No, good. So in our previous podcast, we mentioned that my brother was going in for a cochlear implant, his second one.
Yes.
He went in early this week. I took him in, let me think, it wasn't a Tuesday. So basically I was going to go and stay over with him, at his place just for when he goes through it all, because it's quite a scary thing when you come home and you just have had a huge operation. And
Yeah.
anyway, so I was Tuesday night, then we went and dropped him at the hospital at 6:30 in the morning.
All right.
He was gonna have to wait for most of the day, but it ended up going in operation about 2 hours after that.
Okay.
And it's meant to be a 4 hour. This was a 2 hour. There's a big difference between the time that he had his first episode. So I'm just thinking about episodes. Sorry, I'm trying to move my mic and it's just being stupid. Okay, great. There it is. I'm not going to move anymore. Okay. The first time that he had his first cochlear implant.
Right.
And I won't get the millimeters right, but basically there were two sizes of the coil that would go down to your cochlea.
Right.
I don't really understand which. I don't remember the actual millimeter size, but basically there was a big and a small,
Okay.
and he was meant to have a middle because the other sizes wouldn't have fit properly, and the doctors didn't realize that or whatever. So that operation took 4 hours. And he had issues after that, still issues now, where they now have a medium one as well, which is what he should have had in the beginning.
Right.
I mean, not that it's like a few 100,000 rand for the operation, screw you very much.
Gee.
So anyways, this one was a lot better. He has the medium one, so it went in like really well.
Awesome.
Operation was for two hours, and then I picked him up the following day about lunchtime. And then I stayed over at his house for a few days, and he's very upbeat. He's very happy. Compared with the first one, he was irritable and angry and not all there.
Right.
Not all there meaning that he was just discouraged with everything and didn't feel well, basically, from the operation. And the doctors didn't do their job properly. He had a wonky room, wonky meaning that it just wasn't a very good room. The staff was horrible. So before he went in for this one, he basically shat on them silly.
Run.
This is what happened in the last one. Well, he had a private room. He had nurses who smiled and yesed and pleased and
Nice.
spank you very much.
The nurses spank him?
There's some stories that, it's between me and my brother. I'm just saying.
What happens in hospital stays
It's
in
not,
hospital.
yeah, he's a legend, you know what I'm saying? Thank you very much. Yeah, so no, he's doing a lot better.
Awesome.
He has this big ass bandage around his whole head, and
Right.
it's all attached to something, and that comes off in 2 weeks.
And is the actual device operational yet?
No,
Okay.
that happens a month after.
Jeez, you got to wait a month
It
now.
gets switched on About a month later, yes.
Okay.
4 weeks to 6 weeks is when they begin to work out, the frequencies and the highs and the lows and what's
Right.
effective and what's not effective. So yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But it's good that it's cool that he could come home the next day. That was amazing.
Yeah, no,
You'd
it
think-
was really good.
You'd think something like that, you'd have to spend a good couple of nights in
Yeah.
hospital. but
No,
obviously
it was only a night, and then he was back in, and he spent most of the days when I was there working. When I was at work, he was on Call of Duty Modern Warfare because he just likes to chill and sit. He played pretty much. I left for work about 7:30. I came back about 7:30, and he had almost played the whole day.
Right.
Yeah, but at this point, if I had that happen to me, that whole operation and stuff, I'm going to freaking play whatever the hell I want to do for 12 hours.
No, absolutely.
Thank you very much. We did a bit of analytics on our channel, Bruce, yes?
Yes, we did.
What did we find out?
We found out that our lovely listeners aren't listening for for as long as we'd like them to.
That's exactly correct.
So without further ado, we're going into the topic now.
Yeah, pretty much. I think we've agreed that we're going to make our little intros a little shorter. Last one was like 18 minutes.
It was.
That wasn't an intro. That was a freaking half a book.
It was epic though.
It was good, actually. If I was listening to this, I would never change it. But yeah, so we're doing our intro stuff a little bit shorter,
Yeah.
and then trying to get into the full topic faster. So hopefully you guys will listen a lot more than an average of about, I don't want to say how many minutes. That was embarrassing what our average is. So we're just going to leave it quiet.
Yeah.
We're just saying, guys, please keep on listening.
Yeah.
Good.
We live in a TLDR generation, too long didn't read or too long didn't listen generation, where people want everything like
Fast
now.
food.
So
Exactly.
Fast food. We live in a Mac generation. So
Yep,
there you go.
exactly.
Anyway,
So welcome to your Happy Meal. Let's go.
the toy costs extra.
It does, yes.
We have done a sort of a Q&A about you and I.
Oh, yeah.
And we sort of asked each other questions and stuff. If you haven't listened to that podcast, go back and listen to it. 'cause it
The
a
first
fun
was
one.
listened to a lot. The second, a little bit less. But that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, because that one was 2 parts.
Yeah.
It was a long one, hey?
Yeah.
Great.
Let's be careful.
That was very cool.
Yeah.
So, but one thing that not a lot of probably our listeners, our close friends know, but our listeners know that Gareth and I are both musicians, both very passionate about music, and we actually have a long history of actually playing in church youth bands together, church
true.
bands together,
True.
all of that, and we bonded. I remember our very first conversation
Yeah.
that we ever had, sitting on the steps of Greenside High School hall. That's
Wow.
where we started chatting, and we chatted about music. It was yeah.
No.
That's exactly where. That's.
How did we find each other at Greenside?
I think I had matriculated the year before,
Yeah.
so this was probably about 96,
Okay.
and I had started getting involved with Living Word Church,
I remember Living Wood, yeah.
and Living Word ran the Student Christian Association at
Oh,
Greenside
that's
High
right. And I went to those.
School. So, and there was some
I helped run those, yeah.
there was some Friday night event where there was a band playing and stuff, and it was an SCA
yeah.
event that we invited the whole
Student
school
Christian
to.
Association.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I was there helping out, and you were there. I don't know what you were doing
Not
there or
sure
whatever,
either.
but you and I we connected and we chatted, and
That's a good memory, dude.
the rest is friggin'
I
history.
seriously do not have a memory like that.
Yeah, I remember. I don't remember all we talked about. We bonded over music though. We bonded over
That's
just
sweet.
talking about music. Actually, I do remember one of the guys you were speaking about was Michael Sweet.
No, just because I said the word sweet.
No, I do remember that. I do remember that distinctly. Yeah, definitely. I think isn't he the lead singer of Striper or something? Yeah,
Striper.
exactly. Yeah,
Striper, yeah. Good old 90s hair band.
80s hair
Oh,
band.
it's 80s, you're right, yeah.
Hell yeah. So yeah, so and then fast forward to me getting involved in the church band there, and you were also, and then we started doing the youth band stuff.
Yeah, that was
Together.
fun.
Yes,
That was
'cause
a fun time.
You were basically the front. You were kind of like the leader.
Yeah.
Playing acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
And then I was playing electric.
Yeah.
And we had a good buddy Brendan. Shout out to Brendan Valley in Melbourne, Australia.
That's right.
And Rowan Keat
Rowan, my boy.
in where are they now?
UK.
Cotswolds.
Yep.
The
UK.
Cotswolds, the UK.
Yeah.
And Rowan was our drummer.
Damn.
And
What a cool band.
Mary, his wife.
Mary sang as well, eh?
Yeah, she was also. And then did we have?
She was
anyone?
horrible though. I'm kidding, Mary. You were fantastic. Loved every moment with you.
We actually, and then Gareth was also at that stage was writing a lot of his own songs.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, did we have fun jamming those as well.
I've lost almost all of them, dude.
I actually,
Please say you got some of those. I'll be so happy.
I
No.
think I've still got that tape that we recorded. Like I'm talking cassette tape, eh?
Old.
That we recorded with Mary's
have to
with
just bring
Mary's
it.
dad.
We have to do it.
Oh, wait a minute. With that band, Jamie was our bass player, not Brendan.
Oh.
Brendan came in later.
Later, that's right.
Yes.
That's right.
Jamie was with us.
That's right.
Shout out to Jamie.
Wherever you are, buddy.
He is in
Somewhere in Australia, eh?
Brisbane, I think.
Brisbane.
Actually, I was actually chatting to him on Instagram. We connected the other day,
Oh, cool.
and that he's doing well. He's been married 20 years. Kudos to you, buddy.
Sorry to hear that. That's the suck of a pain, eh? Sorry, I've got... Yeah, anyway, carry on.
So yes, so Mary's dad was a
He freaking recorded it with the bloody reels. With
we recorded reel to reel, man.
reel to reel.
Reel to reel in real time in the
funny.
Parktown
Reel to reel
Girls
in real time.
Parktown Girls School
Hall.
Hall.
That's right.
That's it. Yeah,
No, please look for that because I really want to hear that.
I think.
And I need somebody who is playing to see if they can find any of those songs, like written, like any of those. I don't know. I literally had about 40 or 50 songs.
Yeah, you were quite the prolific
Prolific writer. No, I was actually.
writer. Yeah,
I wrote some. I think I wrote some reasonably good ones, and I've lost them all.
Yeah.
The one that a lot of us will remember who actually played, which is "I'm Not Sorry." That I was actually trying to find in my brain and play it again.
That's actually one of the songs on that tape.
That was one of our best songs.
It was.
I'm not sorry at all. I'm sorry, I'm not sorry.
I cringe when I hear my guitar solo in that song.
Yeah, that was basically a song about a very. It was about a breakup.
You were angry, hey?
Yeah,
you
I had a
were
time
not
of my
a
life
happy little
where I was an
little-
angry
Not
bastard.
a happy cap.
No, I wasn't. I don't know who pushed the wrong buttons, but they pushed it for a very long time.
Yeah.
And I remember that song was all about, for all the times that you said, I love you for all the times. Yo, there's a lot on there.
It's starting to sound like a Justin Bieber song.
I know. If I could sing like him, I'll make it work. Yeah, it was just basically saying that even though I might have hurt her, she hurt me, and I'm not sorry.
No.
That's pretty much what it was about in a nutshell. We both hurt each other, and from my side, I'm not sorry. If you are, that's okay. But from my side, I'm not sorry.
So, the question I had from you is, when did you actually? What was your first instrument? Guitar or drums?
Drums.
And when did you get started with drums?
I played drums. I started when I was like 9 or 10, maybe 10 or 11.
Okay.
And I remember one of the first drum kits that I had, and that I got crapped on later by my mum, but I think she was used to it after a while. I used one of those pedal bins. You know,
Yeah.
like when you push the pedal down, the bin
lid comes
at the
up.
top opens and closes. I used that as my bass drum.
What?
I grabbed most of her pots and pans, and I set them up, and I would play it for a while, and then the lever got really tight and it snapped. And I think I went through 2 or 3 bins until the point that I saved up, and they actually helped me to get like a real
Like an actual drum kit.
Yeah, look. I mean, it was like very old and not fantastic, but it was better for my parents' kitchen stuff to rather just play on those.
And actually saw if you go through 3 pedal bins, they think, okay, maybe he might be a little bit serious about this, and
Exactly.
maybe we should help him out.
Exactly.
It's maybe not just a phase.
No. And then from there, then I also got involved My mum got me involved in it more, but I was thankful that she did. I went into music theory, and I also went into percussion as well.
Okay, just percussion in general.
So yeah. I mean, to play on the orchestra side of things, and I did
Yes, you had some
snare
orchestra.
drum. I went up to level 7.
Yeah, I remember you had your
I was in
youth
the-
orchestra.
I was in the
history.
Johannesburg Youth Orchestra,
Yes, I remember.
and I'm playing on my timpani and all the kind of stuff. The one that I remember, look, I really loved it. Though, I have two memories, and I'm not the ones on musical and the ones about a girl. So you can choose which one it is. No, it's going to be easy. So the one musical side of things, there was one piece of music that just was really long, and there wasn't a lot of of work for my side
Yeah,
of percussion.
right.
And there was one part, like about halfway through, on the sheet music that was one triangle shot. It was just one, but it was very important because
yeah.
the like whole orchestra would break and wait for that, bing, then they'll jump back into it.
Absolutely.
And I lost track of where I was on the sheet music
Oh, boy.
because it was just going on and on, and I wasn't playing anything. Then all of a sudden, there's quiet, and I'm just like, and there's the conductor, because I also got crapped on because I didn't look at him all the time.
Yeah.
I was like, whatever.
What?
So it's a triangle piece and a drum at the end, and then he was looking at me like everyone's like,
Oh wow. That's not awkward at
remember
all.
grabbing the violin, the triangle and doing a quick. Yeah, I got in trouble at the end of it, but
Yo.
all for the sake of a triangle. The other thing that I remember on one of those camps, that we did, where we all go as an orchestra, and we do our team building and
Yes.
our practices the whole day. It was crazy. It was very strict actually.
Yeah.
And there was one girl who I really liked. I can't remember what instrument she played. Anyways, but I liked her. And I think one of my friends challenged me, to like, dude, if you like her, go ask her out.
Yeah.
And this is probably like in my teens somewhere, but I can still remember it. I've been scarred by her. No, really. I'm just realizing it, Bruce.
It's not the girl you wrote the song about.
And I think I wrote a way angrier song than the one that I wrote. That's a whole nother level. Then I'm not sorry. This one was, so I went to her like, all awkward as a teenager, like, hi, I'm wondering if you'll go out with me. And she said, go out with you? And her friends were around her.
Oh.
And then I felt really awkward, and I said, no, with this chair.
Oh wow.
It was very awkward, and she was the BH. I'm like fucking 16, maybe 15 or 16. Go out with you. So all flustered, I went, no, with this chair. Just looked at it and then threw it on the ground and went away.
Oh.
Throw it on the ground.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
You done told her.
just realized that I was a little bit scarred.
Oh wow.
I blame her for all my years of non-dating crap. I don't even know what her name was.
It's okay, dude.
But that's okay. Yeah, so pretty much that's the story of drumming and percussion, and I loved it then. I loved my favorite, the timpani. They are so amazing instruments.
What is it? Please explain.
It's
what
hard
the
to
timpani
explain
is,
it
because
until I can
I'm
show you a
not
picture
actually
of
sure.
them. But timpani is basically, or they are also known as the kettle drums. And they're very loud.
yes.
They're very round. They are like the
Yes.
largest
Yeah.
instrument. No, not the largest. But in percussion, they are the largest ones.
And you got that deep sound that you
Boom,
use
boom,
use
boom,
those
boom.
kind of furry kind of mallets on them.
And they have now there are some which are more old school that have that you use like a winder. So like all the way around the timpani, there are little bolts basically.
Yes.
And the more that you wind up each bolt, the more stretched the skin becomes,
Yes.
and the higher the note
higher the
becomes.
higher the
And you're
pitch,
winding
yes.
it down,
Yes.
it goes down. The better ones are worked on a pedal. And you can basically move, but you have to have that ear
Yes.
that I will know, okay, I've just played an E. Then you have to move it to a level because you can't go, hold on, guys, let me just check that I'm on the right. You have to hit that note every single time,
Yeah.
and you can't see it.
Right.
That's the magic of timpani.
Okay.
Is you go from that last note you played and work it out with the pedal exactly where it goes.
Yeah.
And you can't be flat and you can't be high.
No, you can't.
Love
I
it.
mean, you gotta
That was a skill. What was your first?
You actually got started in music way before I did,
Okay.
because I only got started at about 17.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a bit of a kind of late to the
Late.
party.
Luma. Yeah.
Yeah, so I was always a music fan. It was always around. I was always.
You were.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, swapping CDs with friends at school and everything like that. And then I think if you're passionate about music, I think you either just stay passionate about music and you listen to it, and maybe you become like a vinyl records collector, like some of my friends are now, or whatever, and you just appreciate it. Or one of the next natural steps is you pick up an instrument yourself.
Yeah.
And I think that's what I did. I kind of had that moment of, like, I remember I would always come home from school and eat my lunch, and as you do.
Why don't you have your lunch at school, as we do?
Well, my lunch at school was more like breakfast because I had a 10 o'clock break.
Wow, you were hungry.
Yeah, growing boy. Yeah.
Yep. Fair
Still
enough.
am in certain ways.
That's correct.
Anyway, so, and I would always, I'd had a whole bunch of concerts and MTV Unplugged performances that I'd taped off TV, because after the Saturday night movie, they'd always run concerts. So once the Saturday night movie was finished, I would just stick a videotape in, VHS videotape, all those years ago,
Yep.
and just hit record and go to bed.
Oh,
And then
okay.
I knew it was coming. Like, either there was like a Lenny Kravitz concert, or there was something else, and then they
So
ran.
This was the time when they actually used instruments and called it music.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Back then.
Back in the reality
back
of music.
then in the utopia that was quality music.
Amen. Yep.
We could do a whole podcast rant on that whole subject.
Actually,
couldn't we?
might make that into my personal rant sometimes.
Maybe you should. Yes.
Maybe I should do a ranting thing sometime.
That's a good idea.
Thank you.
And one of the performances I had was Nirvana doing their MTV Unplugged. I had quite a few of the MTV Unplugged performances.
Nice.
And Nirvana was one of them. And I was a big fan of Nirvana.
Great. Man.
Admittedly, only really became more of a fan once we'd lost Kurt Cobain. But I was late to that appreciation of how good they actually were. And I remember the one afternoon I was sitting there, and I suddenly went, "Oh my word, I have to play guitar."
No ways.
I literally, it was a bolt from the blue.
From Nirvana.
Yeah.
Not obviously from Nirvana, but from watching it, yeah.
And so, yeah, and
Wow.
I'd actually been given a guitar when I was much younger.
Yeah.
That I still had in the house. I never played it. I never touched it. And my parents gave it to me for Christmas. It was
Really?
still secondhand, 3/4 size
Okay.
nylon string.
Yeah.
But I'd never played it. Never went for lessons. It didn't grab me. I was too young.
Yeah, sure.
I was too young in my head, you know. And I was like, wait a minute, we've got a guitar in the house. And then, for some reason, my mom had been learning piano.
Yeah.
But she had bought a guitar chord book. Like a thin book that had all your basic major and minor chords
Yeah.
as pictures and photos. And I knew where that was. And then I was like, wait a minute, I need to tune the guitar. And I didn't have a tuner. So I phoned my aunt. I'm like, I knew she played. I knew she had a tuner. I'm like, I need to borrow your guitar tuner. So eventually I got to tune the guitar
Which is so funny because
like a week later.
like nowadays you just get an app straight away.
Yeah.
Fast food out the window.
Let me tell you something. It was nothing like that.
We actually worked for ourselves.
This was the end of 1994.
You're old. So am I.
So yeah, and that was it. And it was just like, okay, start learning chords. And just it became an obsession.
Wow.
An
That's
absolute,
fascinating.
an absolute obsession, yeah. And I just sat and I practiced, and I wasn't satisfied until those chords sounded absolutely clear, and went to a music shop and got a pick.
Yeah.
And just did it for like a year and a half on my own. Started learning from my friends. I started discovering that my friends could play.
No ways.
So my mom eventually said, "Oh, okay, Bruce is a little bit more serious about this."
Yeah.
So she bought me a full-size nylon string guitar.
Okay.
And I don't think there was a day in 1995 where I didn't take my guitar to school.
No.
That guitar, it was like literally, it was like skies blue, water's wet, Bruce takes his guitar to school. And we'd sit around at break time and we'd play. And all my friends were better players than me, so I just learned from them.
Was there
amazing.
Was there like any idiots? You know, like those guys who really try and be bullies. As to what was the whole vibe of, you know, guys bringing their guitars to school.
Honestly, it was really, really cool. There were actually a lot of guys doing it. A lot of people started getting into instruments in that particular year.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I found out quite a few of the guys had been playing for a long time. Guys that I wasn't really mates with, but we were in the same grade.
Yeah.
And, you know, I would sort of watch them and they'd bring their guitars. I'm like, oh, cool. You know, look, watch them and, okay, what's he doing? Oh, yeah. You know, and that kind of thing. And it was really, I mean, one guy even he decided to even bring a snare drum to school. I don't think we didn't hear him playing it. But, you know, so everyone was getting into instruments. It was big.
Snare.
It was very cool. And there was no bullying and harassment and all
That's
that.
good. I went to the wrong school.
Well, even nowadays, from my guitar students, you know, they're not allowed. Music instruments are not allowed at school. You can't bring them because...
Why?
Well, firstly, there's a chance they're going to get stolen.
That's true.
Secondly, you know, I don't know, there's got these really weird rules. There was none of that. There was none of that at all.
You're speaking about school and bullies and snare drums. It's probably the worst frigging thing that I could have done at school, and I don't know why I did it to this very day. And I blame Rowan's brother called Russell Keat. I will blame him for some things in my life.
I remember Russell.
So, yeah, Perla.
Was Russell at the same school as you?
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ooh.
I don't think Rowan was. No, Rowan wasn't. But for some reason, Russell was. This was at an all-boys school. And if you don't do sports and stuff, then you're just a knob or a girly boy or a stupid shit like that. And I'm like, so, you know, I didn't do sport. In fact, I think I've played hockey for a while. I broke 3 sticks. It's actually possible you can break sticks when it wasn't like a free shot, for example. Yeah, you know, a penalty shot.
Yeah.
And you would go up and you would wait and then you would smack the ball.
Yeah.
I was called Farmer Brown because whenever I went for the ball, I would hit and make a divot. I would make a divot every single time I went to hit the ball. Like there was one time, it was so embarrassing. I missed the ball 4 times.
Oh my word!
And everyone's like watching, going quack it, quack it, quack it, and I snapped my stick around the 5th time.
Oh my word!
And I ended up. I think that was like the F or the G team kind of thing. So it wasn't like a terrible thing because we all sucked. But I sucked the worst because I don't do sport.
I must apologize. This podcast was not meant to bring up like heinous high school memories.
All these guys. Well, let me talk about Russell Keat for a while. Actually, sorry, Rowan, I have to. I never liked him, Rowan.
Maybe I won't like him either after this.
I don't want to talk to you ever about that boy again. Now, if he is listening, I'm sorry to hear about you. What? Sorry to hear about that, what I'm going to talk about. Anyways, so I was involved in I think it's called the marching band or whatever.
Yes, you were.
The whole orchestral band was such a load of shite. But for some reason, I put myself in there because, you know, I really liked snare work and drums.
Yes.
What did I end up? I was given 2 cymbals and told to clash them away whenever I could.
Bish, bish,
Yeah.
bish, bish.
And I was not on drums. And what I had to do was to, at certain times, you know, in the actual piece, you would clash away.
Yeah.
But also as the cymbalist, you had to learn spins and tricks and
Yes.
whiz them around in the air and spin them and all that kind of crap. I don't even know why I got involved because it was horrid.
Horrid.
The only things that I learned that was interesting enough was to make your shoes super shiny. You mix a bit of water with the
Yeah, they don't mess around with your shiny shoes, eh?
water and the polish because they expected shoes to be like glass.
That's it.
I don't even know why the hell I did that. And the only other thing that I learned from the cymbals is don't leave them on the bus.
Yeah.
I left the cymbals, the only major pair of the whole school. I left them on the bus one day.
Oh dear.
Yeah, I wasn't my parents' favorite boy because we had to pay for new ones.
Oh, ouch.
So that's pretty much my musicality.
When did you pick up guitar for the first time?
So we're having a bit of power aid here. Play.
Not a sponsor.
No. I'm trying to win a car. A really nice Golf.
Dude, that
Because
car is nice.
I don't do energy drinks because they send me on a friggin' ride, on a train ride to nowhere.
Before I forget, let me break the tab off. So
Yes, because at the bottom of the tab there's a special code
Mm-hmm.
that can hopefully help me to win a Golf GTI Sports. Very South African, but I love those cars.
One team GDA.
Yeah. So the first time that I picked up a guitar,
Yes.
I wouldn't be surprised if you made me do it. I don't remember.
I'm sure you'd been playing for a while before me.
I actually do not remember it at all. All I remember was that I got my mum's guitar. So the story goes, and I don't know how true it is, but I like to believe it is because it's a beautiful story, that my mum got her first guitar when she was 21, and then when I turned 21, I got that guitar.
Nice.
You know my old...
Yeah, I remember that one. It was a
the
nice
old
guitar.
Yamaha,
Yeah.
which I still have.
Cool.
So I don't know if it was around that time, but I don't actually remember. It's a fantastic question. I don't know.
Crazy. I mean,
Maybe earlier than when I was 21, but then I got like my own guitar or a second guitar that I was using. I actually do not know how I thought, let's go play guitar.
It's crazy. Because then, and then you,
No idea.
I think when I met you, you had already been writing songs
Yeah.
and strumming away and all of that.
Yeah.
I remember you drove over your guitar. Do you remember that?
The one in the green
it was in its case. And I
at
think
Brendan's wedding, wasn't it?
I don't know if it was Brendan's wedding, but
But it was at somebody's
the
wedding.
And you were there with a girl.
Of course
And
I
you
was.
ended up, I think you
Don't
just
sound so surprised.
didn't mean to sound
Just there with the
surprised.
girl. Of course
No,
I
it
was.
was like you had a date for the wedding.
I had
I think you backed over the guitar
My cherry.
or something.
Yes, I did. And it still survived.
Oh, that case was boss, eh? It just
I remember
that guitar
that.
didn't have a scratch on it.
And I was like, yo. Yeah,
There
it
you
didn't get damaged, thankfully. Yeah. Yeah, so pretty much that's, and then I've just been writing music, but I haven't been playing guitar for, like for any band or anything like you've been doing
Yeah,
for years. I mean, you've been involved in like how many bands?
sure, quite a few. Hey, yeah, I went the whole hog.
You've sown your seeds
Yeah.
everywhere, prolifically.
Pretty much, yeah. So let's hope that picks up again sometime.
Yes. What's your kind of like your goals? Once we have less of this
Sure, dude.
lockdown, what are you wanting to do, to play, to see?
Honestly,
What do you want to do?
I quite like the idea of the whole one man thing at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'd love to, considering I've started singing, I'd love to front a trio, just like me, a drummer and a bass player.
Okay.
That would be quite cool because that's a challenge. Hey? That's a big challenge.
To play-
no backing tracks, no nothing, just three
Yeah,
instruments.
you've got to be the real deal.
Yeah. So that would be cool at some stage, but I'm not too sure of the way forward, honestly.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just I'm still at least I'm teaching music, so I am playing guitar, but
Your energy. Yeah.
yeah,
I think for me, my only major that I wanted to do since I've been super young is that I need to get back into voice lessons. I've never really thought about the voice as as like a muscle that you have to train
dude,
to
it's
make sure
so-
that it's, because I just thought, what, I can sing pretty well, so I'm going to sing whenever I want to sing. And then I tried it recently, a while ago, and I was like, I did some song for one of my friends, like really wanted to hear how you're singing and stuff. And I recorded something, whatever it was.
yeah,
And he was like, yeah. And I said to him, yeah, I probably kind of think I need to go to voice lessons. It's just weird for me that if you can sing super well, there are some people who don't do voice lessons. They just have this golden voice that doesn't go away.
yeah,
But I guess I've learned that I have to train it again.
yeah. I have to as well. I mean, I hung out with a friend at his studio a couple of days ago. Just took my acoustic guitar and we plugged up, set up in front of his really nice PA system, and I learned that I've got a lot of work to do because it shows up all your flaws,
Does
kind
it?
of thing. So
Although, I mean, I'm a better vocalist. I'm just putting it out there.
You might be. You do
I'm
have more
kidding.
experience singing than I do.
I'm kidding.
I've only been singing for about a year. So, anyway,
Thanks, Bruce.
cool. We are at
What?
just over the half an hour mark.
Actually, no, we're way more than half an hour mark.
Oh.
We're about 35 minutes. And you should stop saying that. We're on the 34th minute. We're on the 38th minute. I think people can tell where they are on the listening to it. Don't have to tell them.
I'm still learning.
Okay, fair enough. Yes.
This has been a very interesting deep dive. I
Hopefully, other people find it as interesting as we did.
I've been thinking about this topic for a while. You know, we really hadn't chatted about our musical background, and it's always a
To walk down memory lane.
yeah, definitely.
Because I haven't played anything for a long time. So
Yeah,
maybe I'll look out for that I'm Sorry Not Sorry song.
yeah. I need to go and find that tape.
I'm actually going to
Maybe
find
we
it.
can.
Yes, find the tape and we can put out like a little recording and say, guys, this is how we done.
Do we want to put it out onto digital format?
What the hell? We only live once, Bruce.
It's
We only
also-
shite once. Exactly. So maybe we should, Bruce. Look for it. Maybe we'll pain people's ears
That's it.
in one of the next few episodes. Thank you, Bruce.
This has been the Spaghetti Junction podcast. My name is Bruce.
And my name is Gareth.
Take care, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Thank you.
We will
See
catch you on the
you
next one.
on the next one, which I believe is a special number to it.
It does too.
So stay tuned for that.
Awesome.
And if you can count, you already know what it is. So well done. Bye, Gareth.
Awesome.
I didn't mean that. I love you guys.
Cheers,
Goodbye.
guys. Bye.